We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope everybody's doing good today. Make sure you guys have your teacups ready.
Get ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
Because this tea is what? Piping hot. So everybody's been wanting me to come on here and talk about the whole Breakfast Club situation. So if you guys don't know, on Friday, little Duval was on the Breakfast Club. And basically he had some choice words for transgender people. Now, we all know little Duval's sister is gay. If you guys don't know, he has a gay sister. She's part of the LGBT. But little Duval was basically saying that he's not cool with the whole transgender situation if they're lying to straight men, because he considers himself a heterosexual man. He only likes women, and he feels like if you're going to play the role of pretending to be a woman, you need to be, fully honest, and you need to fully disclose that you were a man. So they're talking about this on the Breakfast Club, and I want you guys to go ahead and watch these two clips. Hopefully they don't flag this video, because I noticed the Breakfast Club deleted the original video, which to me is shocking. But go ahead and check this out. Here.
Well, people were mad at the Breakfast Club, said we shouldn't allow them to say that and are boycotting the Breakfast Club. So we're asking.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you actually listen to the interview instead of listening to the manipulated clip that people have been circulating, you specifically heard us tell him that you can't do that.
Absolutely.
It's a hate crime. I specifically said you can't go around killing transgenders.
Well,
I said that verbatim.
Now, one thing I do want to say, though, is that it has been something for me that's been really important for us to get information about the transgender community and be more educated about it, which is why I had Janet Mock come to the show, which is why I feel like we've always up here advocated for equal rights for everyone, no matter what gender that you identify with. So that's never been an issue for us.
I mean, listen, I don't have no problem with having a conversation with anybody. Hey, you know what I don't like? I don't like people trying to hold me accountable for the words of another man. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not apologizing for the words of little dude.
Right, and I think it's very...
All right, so you guys just heard what they were saying, and I feel like there was some backtracking there. But what ended up happening is that this past Sunday, some transgender activists, they ended up crashing this thing that Charlamagne the God was doing. He was at this thing called Politicon, and Charlamagne was hosting it, and they ended up crashing it, and they were going off on him. They were very, very upset by what was said on his show. I want you guys to go ahead and check out what these transgender activists did during Politicon. Check this out.
We are not a joke.
Trans people are not a joke. Trans people are not a joke. Just the other day, Charlamagne the God let Little Duval talk about killing black trans women. No, just the other day, Charlamagne the God let Little Duval.
We are not a joke. 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 Charlamagne the God, you messed with the wrong one.
Tell us what you think about that.
Black men have been complicit in the reinforcement of trans love, and black trans lives matter too. Get your, don't touch me.
That the Breakfast Club allowed to talk about black.
All right, so you guys just saw what they said to Charlamagne the God, so that's going viral right now. And since then, little Duval has doubled down. He's even taken to Instagram, and he's saying, I heard these transgender niggas is mad at me. Oh, well, with the Kanye shrug. And then he also says, so let me ask you slow-ass transgender niggas something. Y'all really think if you don't tell a man you used to be a man, it's going to be no repercussions to it? Yeah, okay. If you can't see why somebody will kill somebody that raped them, you should understand how a straight man feels. Matter of fact, I ain't going back and forth with you confused ass nigga bitches. So that's Little Duval for y'all. Little Duval is doubling down. Matter of fact, he talked to TMZ today, and this is what he had to say to TMZ. Check this out.
Like, what made me say that? I said that because they were saying taking away someone's power of choice, and that's what you did. When you take away somebody's power of choice, it should be criminal. And you don't know what it'll do to somebody psychologically. I don't got no problem with transgender. I ain't got no problem with gay people. I got a problem with somebody trying to take something from me. I'm in my own mind. I say what I feel. I say what's on my mind and how they take it, because if they taking what else going on, that's on them, because this is only about one situation, which the situation was what would I do if I found out somebody was a man that I thought was a woman, that didn't tell me she was a woman. That's all that is. Now, all that other stuff they put on there, that's on their own. That's on themselves.
I'm trying to help you see that no one in this society is going to tolerate you saying that you would retaliate with murder.
We can't. That's psychological damage.
All right, so you guys just saw what Lil Duval had to say to TMZ. So a lot of folks want to know my opinion on this, and this is my opinion on the whole situation. While I don't agree with anybody being killed, I've done stories on transgender people losing their lives, on my channel and stuff like that. I don't agree with anybody losing their life over a lie. But like I've always said in the past, that people do need to have full disclosure. You cannot go around chasing straight men and pretending to be straight women. And then once that man finds out, he ends up snapping. Not saying that it's an excuse, but we've seen this happen time and time again, okay? Usually when a transgender person is killed, it is because they were not honest and they did not fully disclose that they were once upon a time a man, and somehow it did something to that damn man's ego and his ass went and snapped. Okay, this has happened time and time again. And I feel like if we can sit here and clown Usher and say that Usher needed to fully disclose that he had herpes to these women that he was having sex with, you know what I'm saying? And people drug him and everybody engaged in that and everybody laughed and kikied. But at the end of the day, everybody agreed that Usher needed to fully disclose his herpes status to these women. Why are people making excuses when people say that as a man, I feel like transgender women need to fully disclose that they were once men. And if I choose not to fuck with them, that's my choice. That should be okay. And if I choose to still engage and still mess with them, then that should be okay. But give me the choice. Don't make the choice for me. Like, I don't understand how people don't get that, okay? So I agree with him on that stance. I feel like when it comes to certain things in the bedroom, because sex is a big act, okay? Let's not act like sex is just some damn fly-by-night shit. When you're sleeping with somebody, you're exchanging soul ties. You know what I'm saying? You're giving that person a piece of your essence, a piece of your body, a piece of your soul. Let's keep it all the way real. I know in this day and age, we act like sex is not no big deal. It's just some fly-by-night shit. I got my dick sucked, got my coochie ate, and we go on about our business, but it's deeper than that. And I feel like you do need to fully disclose. You know what I'm saying? There's some transgender, I guess, men who look like, well, I guess maybe they were women, transgender women who look like men. Sorry if I'm mixing this up. But there was one that I saw on social media and I had posted about it. And I was shocked because she was like Throwback Thursday. And her Throwback Thursday, she was a girl. But now she's a man and she was fine as fuck. And if I would have seen her, I would have thought it was a dude. So for me, no, I want to know if you used to be a female, but now you're a man. I feel like it's okay to ask for somebody to fully disclose what they were prior, just like it's okay to ask for somebody to disclose their STD chart, you know what I'm saying, their doctor's records to make sure they don't have anything. I think when it comes to sex, it's very important to disclose certain things. And a lot of these doctors are miracle workers. You have men who are not women who look like straight up females. They look more feminine than real women. And you have women now who are men who look like straight up dudes who are fine, who I know for a fact I would be fooled because when I seen the dude online, I was like, that cannot be, like, how, Sway? How was this once a female? She's fine as hell. Like, I was so confused when I seen this transgender man, this woman who turned into a man. So it's like, these doctors are performing miracles. So it's not as easy as, oh, well, you can tell by the voice. Sometimes you cannot tell because I've seen pictures of transgender women who have turned into men and they look like straight dudes. They sound like dudes. They carry themselves like dudes. So I think it's okay to ask for full disclosure. Now, I will say this. I don't agree with the whole killing of anybody. You guys know that I'm a very sensitive person. I don't agree with the whole killing of anyone. No one should lose their lives over something like this, period, point blank. So let me put that out there. Don't twist my words. That part of it I did not agree with. But what I'll say is I also feel like the Breakfast Club was trying to play both sides of the fence. I didn't like the fact that they tried to pull out Janet Mock's book and make a mockery of her, no pun intended. And Charlamagne was laughing a bit too hard, okay? He was laughing a bit too hard. Angela Yee was laughing. She was trying to play it off. DJ Envy was trying to, play off the chuckles. I feel like sometimes they invite certain guests on there to say things that they themselves are scared to say. And I feel like everything Little Duval was saying, they was agreeing with it, but they can't stand fully behind him and what he's saying because that's going to mess up their sponsorships. It's going to fuck up their money. You know what I'm saying? But Charlamagne was just cracking the fuck up. And that's okay. If he found it funny, it's okay. But then don't try and backtrack now, try and distance yourself now from the situation because I felt like they were using Little Duval to say what the hell they wanted to say any damn way. Okay, because it was like, why did y'all pull out her book? And then why was y'all on some Two-Face shit? Because y'all had her on the Breakfast Club just a few days before that. Y'all was kissing her ass and calling her a woman and everything else. But then when Little Duval was like, oh, yeah, that nigga's doing his thing, y'all was laughing hard as fuck. So that was some fake stuff to me, you know what I mean? And that's just me being all the way 100. I feel like that part was fake, so I don't agree with the killing, but I agree with him saying that he wants a full disclosure. And I feel like people have the right to ask for a full disclosure. Another thing I also feel is this, okay? For me, I also feel like it's not so much about people agreeing with Little Duval because I think 99.9% of people feel like he kind of took it too far with the whole murdering of a person. It's not that serious. But I think in this world, we live in a world now where people are so scared. They're so afraid to speak their mind. People are scared of what people are going to say. They're scared of the ramifications. They're scared of losing sponsorship. They're scared of losing deals. They're scared. And the fact that Little Duval said what he said, and not only did he say it, he stood by it, he doubled down, and he said he's not apologizing. He said that's how he feels, and it is what it is, and y'all's not gonna do shit. And we don't see that nowadays. And I think that's why so many people are supporting Little Duval. Not so much everything that he stated, but the fact that he's standing in it and he's owning his truth. This is his truth at the end of the day. And you can't shame somebody out their stance. And that's always been my issue when it comes to certain topics. You're not going to shame me out my stance. People caught themselves trying to come for me the other day because of how I felt about cultural appropriation. To me, it's a bunch of bullshit, and you're not going to shame me out of that stance. People think they can take away your black card and, we're going to unsubscribe. We're going to, fuck you, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot shame people out their stance. People are going to feel how they want to feel. So now imagine if he came today and he apologized. Is that really going to change how he really feels on the inside? For me, I'd rather know where somebody stands and how they truly feel. I'd rather know if you're racist and you don't like black folks than to sit here and fucking walk on eggshells and tiptoe and apologize. Because just because you apologize does not mean that that's what's truly in your heart. So I respect him more for not apologizing and just saying that's how he feels, it is what it is, than him trying to play both sides of the fence like Charlamagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. Because they laughed so hard, they agree with a lot of what he said, but then once they started getting backlash, now they want to try and distance themselves from Little Duval. And that's what I don't respect. And for me, personally, I can applaud anyone who has the courage to say how they truly feel, regardless of what other people think, who have the courage to stand on their own too without looking for other people's approval. So I think to me, this is why so many people are standing behind Little Duval. Not so much the whole murder aspect, but what he's saying about the full disclosure and the fact that he's not apologizing for it. And with that being said, let me also say this, because when I did my video about Caitlyn Jenner, and I stand by that video, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. I just kept it real on how I felt. I want to say this because there was a man in the comment section who told me something I wasn't aware of. And he's a gay man. He's not transgender. But he said this. He said when people come out and they make comments about the LGBT community, the transgender community, and it's something pertaining to violence, like using derogatory words or even possibly inciting violence, he said what ends up happening is that even though a lot of us may hear something and be like, okay, it's just a comment. We were talking about the whole Tokyo Tony situation. He said, even though most of us are sane enough to say, okay, well, that's Tokyo Tony's feelings, that's just a comment, it's not a big deal. He stated that what happens is that there's still a small pocket of the segment who may live in a community where they see a transgender person or they see a gay person, and because of the negativity that they see online, or, when stories like this go viral, they didn't feel like it's okay to go up and go harass that person or to put their hands on that person or to disrespect that person. So that's one thing I do want to say before I end this video, is that regardless of what's going viral, regardless of all these transgender stories, like we have the whole situation with Bobby Valentino, we had this situation with Lil Duval and the Breakfast Club, at the end of the day, we need to show people respect. And you're not allowed to use these situations to then go out and harass people, to talk down to them, to disrespect them. At the end of the day, a lot of these people, from what I gathered and from what the comments that they left in my comment section, the dialogue that I've had with people who are transgender, is that many of them, they just want to be left alone. They just want to live their life. They're not out here trying to, fool people purposely or do things to make people uncomfortable. They just want to live their life. Now, you do have a small segment of the population who do lie about their original gender and who do go out their way to fool people. But for the majority, that's not what a lot of them are on. So I do want to reiterate that, you know what I'm saying? And to also reiterate that no one should be harassing these people, insinuating violence towards them, disrespecting them. Live and let live. And that's how I want to end this video. Live and let live. We don't always have to agree with each other. We don't have to agree with each other's ideologies. I don't have to agree with where somebody's coming from, nor do they have to agree with where I'm coming from. But I think at the end of the day, it's about respect. And we need to be able to respect everyone's opinions and how people feel. And we need to be able to listen to each other and see where each other is coming from. It's so easy to dismiss somebody and say, well, they're not saying what the fuck I want to hear, so fuck them. It's very easy to do that. But it's a lot harder to listen to that person and see where they're actually coming from. And I think that's what needs to happen on both sides, because there's so much confusion. There's so much misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody really takes the time out to really research and to be educated and to not be talked down to, you're going to keep having all this confusion, animosity on both sides. So the whole situation is very, very interesting, but I don't see Lil Duval backing down anytime soon. But I got to give the Breakfast Club the side eye, because they definitely played both sides of the fence, and especially being that they had Janet Mock on their show not even a few days before that. But then when Lil Duval was saying everything he was saying, they was laughing a bit too damn hard, you know what I'm saying, because y'all wasn't doing all this laughing and kikiing and being, overtly disrespectful when Janet Mock was there. So let's keep it 100. And it was funny because Angela Yee was still trying to kiss Janet Mock's ass, to the point that Charlamagne the God was like, she unfollowed you, so you can stop kissing her ass. She's not fucking with you. So it's like, just if you feel a certain type of way, keep that shit 100 and stop being fake about it. But unfortunately, we live in a day and age where being honest, being transparent is no longer rewarded. When you're honest about your true feelings, people come for your head, unfortunately. So once again, I don't agree with the whole murder aspect. I don't agree with killing anybody, but I do agree with the full disclosure. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button, and make sure you click that bell so you can be down with the notification squad, honey. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.